The 2026 FIFA World Cup, the biggest sporting event on the planet, hosted across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. 48 nations, billions of eyes watching, and the burning question on everyone's lips going into this tournament. Can Argentina do it again? Can they defend the title they won so gloriously in Qatar 4 years ago? Well, on June 17th, 2026, in their very first group game against Algeria, Argentina gave us the answer loud and clear, not just in the result, but in the manner of the performance. The dominance, the control, and of course in the moment that stopped the entire footballing world in its tracks. A 39-year-old man on his 200th cap in his 6th World Cup, picking up the ball in midfield, driving at defenders, and putting it into the top corner from 25 yards, right in front of the world. Today we are going deep. We are going into everything: the pre-match context, Algeria's preparation, Argentina's squad and tactics, a minute-by-minute feel for how the match unfolded, a full player-by-player breakdown, and what all of this means going forward for both teams in this tournament. This is the full breakdown. Grab a drink, get comfortable, let's go. First, let's set the scene, because context matters. When the Group J draw was made, Argentina were immediately installed as heavy favorites to top the group, and rightly so. They are the world champions. They have Messi. They have one of the most cohesive squads in world football right now. But Algeria were not here just to make up the numbers. Let's be clear about that. Algeria qualified through the African section with an impressive campaign. They topped their qualifying group, conceding very few goals, and showed real defensive organization throughout. Their squad is packed with players from top European leagues. Amine Gouiri, who has been outstanding in League One. Ryan Ait Nouri, a Premier League fullback with Wolves who offers genuine quality going forward. And in goal, a name that will raise eyebrows every single time you say it, Luka Zidane. Yes, the son of Zinedine Zidane, playing in goal for Algeria at the World Cup. So Algeria came here with confidence. They believed they could at least be competitive, maybe nick a point, maybe even cause an upset. Their fans had traveled in huge numbers, and the noise from the Algerian end of the stadium was incredible before kickoff. Argentina, meanwhile, came in as defending champions, but also as a team still carrying the weight of expectations that comes with that. Every team they play will be fired up. Every team will want to be the one that beats the world champions. Scaloni had kept his squad selections fairly tight-lipped in the build-up. There were questions about exactly which formation he'd use, who would start alongside Messi in the front line, and whether Thiago Almada, one of the exciting new faces in this Argentine generation, would get a starting role. As it turned out, the lineup Scaloni selected was ambitious, attack-minded, and absolutely loaded with quality. Let's get into it. Argentina lined up in a 4-3-3. Here it is in full. In goal, Emiliano Martinez, the Aston Villa stopper, the man who was absolutely heroic in Qatar in 2022, the penalty-saving, crowd-baiting, emotionally unhinged genius in goal. He has a presence that almost psychologically rattles opposing strikers before they've even taken a shot. At right back, Gonzalo Montiel, reliable, disciplined, knows his role, won't venture too far forward but provides cover and security. Center back pairing, Cristian Romero and Lisandro Martinez. And what a pairing this is. Romero at Spurs, Lisandro at Manchester United. Both Premier League tested, both physically dominant, both aggressive in the tackle and comfortable with the ball. If Algeria were going to score, they'd have to get through these two first. Spoiler alert, they couldn't. At left back, Medina, solid. Gets up and down the left channel well, provides width when needed. Now, the midfield three, and this is where Argentina really win games. Rodrigo de Paul on the right, Enzo Fernandez in the center, Alexis McAllister on the left. This is arguably the best midfield three at this entire World Cup. Genuinely, let me explain why. De Paul is the engine. He covers every blade of grass. He wins the ball back. He recycles it quickly. He's technically sharp and physically relentless. Enzo Fernandez, at just 24 years old, already looks like a complete midfielder. He reads the game brilliantly, his passing range is exceptional, and he has the composure to play in tight spaces under pressure. And McAllister, the Brighton and now Liverpool midfielder, is the connector, the player who makes the whole system tick. He links midfield and attack with his movement, his positioning, his ability to play a 1-2 in a tight space and come out the other side. Up front, Thiago Almada on the left, Lautaro Lautaro Martinez through the middle, and Lionel Messi on the right. Yes, Argentina's right winger who cuts inside onto his left foot at every opportunity. We'll talk about Messi in detail, extensively, later in this video, but just look at this team on paper. This is a frighteningly good starting 11. Algeria lined up in a 4-2-3-1, a more conservative shape. The idea was clearly to stay compact, frustrate Argentina, and hit them on the counterattack through the pace of Guiri and the width of Ait Nouri. On paper, it's a reasonable game plan. Against most teams in this tournament, it might even work, but Argentina are not most teams. Let's go through the match itself. The first half. From the very first whistle, Argentina's intent was clear. They wanted to press high and win the ball back as quickly as possible. The message from Scaloni was simple. Give Algeria no time on the ball, force mistakes, make them play long. And it worked almost immediately. Within the first 5 minutes, Algeria's center backs were already looking uncomfortable. Every time they tried to play out from the back, DePaul or Allister were pressing, cutting off passing lanes, making the simple option disappear. Algeria resorted to hoofing it long, and when you do that, you're basically giving possession back to Romero and Lissandro, who win every aerial duel they face. Possession immediately returned to Argentina, and then the buildup would start again. Argentina's passing in the first half was slick, quick, and purposeful. Triangles everywhere. 1-2s in tight spaces. The fullbacks, particularly Montiel, tucking inside to create overloads in midfield. It was fluid. It was organized. It was beautiful to watch. Algeria did have one bright moment early on. Around the 12th minute, Guiri received the ball in space on the left channel and drove at Montiel. He showed some nice skill, cut inside, and got a shot away. It was blocked, but it was a reminder that Algeria had dangerous players if you gave them space. Argentina didn't give them much more space after that, and then came the moment. Minute 23. This is how it unfolded. Allister wins the ball back in the middle of the park, plays it quickly to DePaul on the right. DePaul checks inside, plays a one-touch pass back to Enzo Fernandez, who has found space between Algeria's midfield and defense. Fernandez drives forward 3 steps, looks up, and plays it into the feet of Messi, who has drifted into that half space between the lines. Now here's where it gets special. Messi takes one touch to control, and instead of laying it off, and instead of playing the simple pass, he looks up, assesses the distance, and just decides. He pulls back his left foot and absolutely thunders it towards the top corner. The ball travels 25 yards. The goalkeeper gets a hand to it, barely, and the net ripples. 1-0, Argentina. The technique on that strike is almost inhuman. The ball barely rises above knee height for the first 10 yards, and then it just dips and curves late into the corner. The goalkeeper had no chance. Nobody has a chance when Messi decides to do that. The Argentina bench erupted, the crowd erupted, and Messi, cool as you like, just pointed to the sky and walked away. He scored so many great goals that even he seemed slightly unbothered. 38,000 people in that stadium went absolutely wild. After the goal, Algeria tried to respond. To their credit, they pushed forward in the minutes immediately following. There was urgency. Ait Nouri got forward well down the left and delivered a dangerous cross, but it was cleared comfortably. Luka Zidane at the other end was called into action twice more before half-time, making smart stops to deny Lautaro Martinez from close range. But the structure of the first half was very clear. Argentina controlled it from start to finish. They went in at half-time 1-0 up, having been the dominant team in every single phase of play. The second half, Algeria came out needing a goal. They made a change at half-time, bringing on a more attacking midfielder to try and get more bodies in the final third. And for the first 15 minutes of the second half, they actually showed more. There was more urgency, more directness. Guiri looked sharper, getting in between the lines more often. Ait Nouri was bombing forward. For about 15 minutes, Algeria actually had Argentina under something resembling pressure. But here's the thing about this Argentina side. They know how to manage games. They've done it in the biggest moments. They know when to slow it down, recycle possession, and just suffocate the life out of a team without necessarily attacking at full pace. Enzo Fernandez and DePaul dropped slightly deeper, making it harder for Algeria Algeria to press and win the ball back. Argentina's back four held their shape brilliantly, and Emiliano Martinez, on the rare occasion a shot did get through, was alert and commanding. Around the 65th minute, Scaloni made his substitutions. Fresh legs in midfield. The message was clear. Hold what we have. See this out professionally. No heroics needed, just control. Algeria pushed and pushed in the final 20 minutes. They threw men forward, but Argentina were comfortable. Romero heading everything away. Lisandro reading danger before it materialized. And anytime Algeria did get in behind, the offside trap had been set perfectly. The final whistle blew. Argentina 1, Algeria 0. Professional, dominant, controlled. Exactly what the world champions should look like. Now let's go player by player and give our ratings. Starting with Argentina, Emiliano Martinez, 7 out of 10. Had very little to do. A few comfortable catches, one good stop in the second half. The mark of a great defensive performance is that your goalkeeper is barely tested. He wasn't. 7 out of 10. Montiel, 7 out of 10. Solid and disciplined. Didn't venture forward too much, but was reliable defensively. Did his job. Christian Romero, 8.5 out of 10, commanding, aggressive in the right moments, won everything in the air. Algeria's forwards had no joy against him. Excellent. Lisandro Martinez, 8.5 out of 10, mirror image of Romero, reads the game brilliantly, calm on the ball, physical when he needs to be. Another excellent performance. Medina, 7 out of 10, steady on the left, decent going forward. Could have been more adventurous, but defensively solid. Rodrigo de Paul, 8 out of 10, the engine of this team, everywhere. Won the ball back repeatedly, pressed relentlessly, not always the flashiest player on the pitch, but absolutely essential to how Argentina function. Brilliant. Enzo Fernandez, 8.5 out of 10, controlled the tempo beautifully. His assist for the Messi goal showed his vision and ability to find that killer pass. At 24, he already plays like a veteran. Superb. Alexis McAllister, 8 out of 10. The connector. Everything went through him at some point. Clean, tidy, intelligent. One of the most underappreciated players in world football right now. Thiago Almada, 7.5 out of 10. Lively, direct, caused Algeria problems with his movement. Could have had a goal himself. Good tournament debut. Lautaro Martinez, 7.5 out of 10. Worked tirelessly for the team. Held the ball up well. Could have scored. Luka Zidane denied him twice. Slightly frustrated in front of goal, but his overall play was strong. Lionel Messi, 10 out of 10. Yes, 10 out of 10 on his 200th cap in his 6th World Cup. He scored arguably the best goal of the tournament so far. He created chances. He linked play. He was a constant threat every single time he touched the ball, and he did this at 39 years old. What else do you want from the man? 10 out of 10. Couldn't give him anything less, even if I wanted to. Now Algeria. Luka Zidane, 7.5 out of 10. The best performer for Algeria on the night. Made several important saves, particularly those 2 stops on Lautaro. If not for him, the scoreline could have been very different. Good tournament debut. His father would be proud. Algeria's back four, 5.5 out of 10 collectively. Worked hard, tried to stay organized, but were constantly under pressure and couldn't cope with Argentina's movement. Too much space left around Messi all night. Midfield, 5 out of 10, completely overrun, couldn't get a foothold, couldn't cope with the press, struggled to connect with the forwards. A really tough night. Amine Gouiri, 6 out of 10, had one bright early moment, showed quality in flashes, but was isolated too often and couldn't get the service he needed. Better performances will come. Ryan Ait Nouri, 6.5 out of 10. One of Algeria's better performers. Got forward well. Delivered some decent crosses. His energy was good throughout. Will be important going forward in the tournament. Overall Algeria team, 5.5 out of 10. They were outclassed, but they competed. This was always going to be a difficult night and they never stopped running. The problem wasn't effort. It was quality. And the quality gap between these two sides was significant on the night. So what does this result mean for both teams going forward? For Argentina, they are in the perfect position. 3 points from 3 from their opening game. They now face Austria next and then Jordan in their final group game. If they beat Austria, which on this form they should, they are through to the round of 16 with a game to spare. They could even afford to rotate heavily against Jordan and still top the group. The bigger picture for Argentina is this. They need to stay injury-free, stay focused, and keep this level of performance. Because when the knockout rounds come, the margins get tighter, the opposition gets better. But right now, this team looks absolutely ready. If Argentina top Group J, and they should, they will face a second-place team from another group in the round of 16. Based on current projections, that could mean a fascinating last 16 matchup. Every team in this tournament should be worried about facing Scaloni's side in the knockouts. For Algeria, this is now a must-improve situation. Not yet must-win because they have 2 games left, but they need points. Their next game against Jordan is absolutely crucial. Jordan are a manageable opponent on paper, and Algeria must approach that game with energy, confidence, and a completely different performance. What Algeria cannot do is let this result get in their heads. One loss to the world champions, away from home in terms of the World Cup stage, is not a disaster. It was always the hardest game in the group. They now have 2 chances to get results. If Gouiri can find his form, if Ait Nouri can continue his good work, and if the midfield can impose itself more, Algeria are capable of getting through, but they have to start delivering. Before we wrap up, I want to spend a moment on something that goes beyond tactics and formations and match ratings, because what happened on June 17th, 2026 was not just a football result. It was a chapter in one of the greatest stories sport has ever told. Lionel Messi has been playing international football for 20 years. 20 years of representing Argentina, of carrying the hopes of an entire nation on his back, of being criticized when things went wrong and worshipped when they went right, of playing in World Cups in Germany, South Africa, Brazil, Russia, Qatar, and now North America. In 2022 in Qatar, he finally got the one trophy that had eluded him throughout his career: the World Cup. And what a tournament that was! One of the greatest individual World Cup performances anyone has ever seen. He won the Golden Boot. He won the Golden Ball. He lifted the trophy. He cried. The whole world cried with him. And now, 4 years later, at 39 years old, an age where most footballers are retired, are doing punditry on television, are playing in farewell games, he is here. He is at the World Cup. He is starting games. He is scoring goals like this. This goal today was not scored by a player going through the motions. This was not a veteran picking up a charity tournament appearance to pad his stats. This was Messi, fully fit, fully motivated, fully engaged, at the highest level, producing moments of individual brilliance that nobody else on the planet can match. There will come a day when Messi plays his last game of football, and when that day comes, the world will feel it. But today is not that day. Today, Lionel Messi is still here, still going, still the greatest, and if he lifts the World Cup trophy again in a few weeks' time, which after tonight feels genuinely possible, then the footballing conversation will be over for good. Completely, irrevocably, forever, Argentina, 1-0, Algeria, World Cup 2026, Group J. A professional, dominant, controlled performance from the world champions. A night of history for Lionel Messi, his 200th cap, his 6th World Cup, and a goal that will be talked about for years. A difficult but instructive night for Algeria, who must regroup quickly and find a way to make their campaign count. The World Cup has only just begun. There are weeks of football still to come. Surprises, upsets, heartbreak, glory. That's what makes this tournament the greatest show on earth. But if tonight was any indication, Argentina are coming for another one. That is our full in-depth breakdown of Argentina versus Algeria at the 2026 World Cup. If you made it to the end of this video, you are a real one. Thank you so much for watching. Drop your Messi rating in the comments below. What did you give him tonight? Let's see if anyone is brave enough to give him anything less than a 10. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for daily World Cup 2026 analysis throughout the tournament, and I'll see you in the next one.